A warm welcome to you from Segra Field in Leesburg, Virginia. It is an Eastern Conference clash tonight in the USL Championship as Loudoun United play host to Hartford Athletic. Sean St. Jacques, the Manchester United legend, Gary Bailey on hand for this one. And Gary, we look immediately at the Eastern Conference standings. Loudoun are in 7th. Hartford trying to get back above the playoff line, currently in 10th.
It's also tight, isn't it? If Hartford win, they'll jump to 19 points and they'll be in a playoff place. If Loudoun win, they go above Birmingham and they'll only be a point behind Detroit City in that 5th spot. So these 3 points tonight, vital to both sides.
It really isn't the same Loudoun anymore. The first 11 meetings between these two, Hartford Athletic dominated Loudoun, but the script is flipped in the last 3.
It certainly has. This is a proper Loudoun side now. It's not a sort of development team for DC United anymore, and you can see that 2 wins and the 1 loss in the last 3 against Hartford. They've scored more goals and conceded less, obviously. And for Hartford, well, they're also a new look outfit, new coach, new players, new money, new ownership. So exciting times for both sides.
No question about that. For Loudoun, another sign that they've turned the page. They're unbeaten in their last 6 with 4 victories in that run. It's the best unbeaten run they've ever had as a club.
Well, Velo certainly helping there. A couple of goals, one of them against Orange County. They've been able to score. McKay from the edge of the box. What about this for a volley? One of the best I have seen in a long, long time. And then Abakura just popping up here and banging that one into the back of the net after the Velo cross was pushed out. So they've been scoring goals from all over the field.
Defensively, they've been stout as well. Unlike Hartford in their last 3, been a little bit up and down. Mishi and Galina's been doing the business, but defensively, Brendan Burks told us it needs to get better.
Yeah, this was against Pittsburgh, 2 goals and a 2-0 win, although Pittsburgh hit the post twice, so perhaps lucky to get a clean sheet. They conceded a penalty against Tampa Bay. Artiaga slotting that one. Didn't score in that match, didn't score against Sac Republic. Herrera can't hold it, and Herrera just follows up. So 2 1-0 losses on the trot for Hartford.
We'll see if Hartford can get back to winning ways tonight. These have been 2 teams in the past that have been pretenders in the USL Championship. They're hoping that this year it'll turn into being contenders in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. We're excited for this one. It's coming up next from Segra Field in Leesburg, Virginia.
You have been chasing this impossible dream for so long, son.
This is nothing compared to the next level.
I did not spend the last year rehabbing just to crumble when it matters the most.
Welcome to the big leagues, bro.
We worked hard to get here. Come on.
When you leave LA and you go wherever the NFL tells you to, you just hope that you're ready.
Game time.
All-American, Monday at 8 on DCW 50. This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Gas prices got you fuming? No need to get heated. Save time and money with Metro. Ride, save, explore. Metro. Make your trip monumental. Sightsee through DC without overspending on gas and ride shares. Experience DC the local way. Ride, save, explore. Metro.
DC News Now is worth watching.
Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 10.
Super serving the DMV.
Reporting in Northern Virginia.
Levin Bowie.
In Upper Marlboro.
Forecasting each region of the DMV.
Region by region.
Responsive and ready for breaking news no matter the location.
To show you exactly how all of this went down.
We get there faster.
Reporting in Greenbelt, Maryland.
We cover more ground.
From Hagerstown.
Super serving the DMV. Watch DC News Now tonight at 10 on DCW 50. It's worth watching.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey, our entire crew, happy to have you with us tonight in Virginia. Loudoun taking on Hartford Athletic in an Eastern Conference clash in the USL Championship. Let's dive in to the starting lineups for both teams. The Loudoun 11 under Ryan Martin has a change up top, and it's big about pace in the end, really.
It is Wesley Leggett, who's very, very quick. He replaces Abdelatif Bakura, who has had a couple of fantastic games, by the way, but he's on the bench. Ryan will lead them through the middle up front there. Zach Ryan in a 3-4-3 shape. And it's a Loudoun side that's in great form at the moment, especially their goalkeeper, Hugo Farreau.
No question about that. Brendan Burke brings this 11 with him, and a big player returning from suspension in the midfield is Makangila.
Yep, Beverly Makangila in for Danny Pereira. Also, Tristan Hodge returns. Emmanuel Samadia drops to the bench. So 2 changes from the team that lost 1-0 at Sac Republic in their last match in that 4-3-3 shape with a pace of Ingalina through the middle as the 9 and Beckford wide as well. That's what they have to keep an eye on, Loudoun, that transitional pace of Hartford Athletic.
Ryan Martin, the Loudoun United coach, was named Coach of the Week in the USL Championship this week, and for good reason. Loudoun are coming off a 2-0 impressive victory over the Tampa Bay Rowdies here, improving their home record to 5 wins, 2 draws, and just 2 defeats. On the other side of the coin for Hartford, this is their 8th road game of the season. They've only managed 1 victory. We'll see if that changes tonight. Loudoun in their white and red kits get us started. They'll be going from left to right here at Segra Field, and we're underway. Hartford are in their green and blues, and we're excited to see how this one plays out. Overall in the all-time series, Hartford have had the better of Loudoun, but that's changed in the last couple of seasons. Ryan Martin has probably the best team he's ever had as Loudoun United head coach. It has shown in the standings, and Brendan Burke hoping in his return to the USL Championship as Hartford boss that a game like tonight could help his team turn a corner. They feel like they're getting closer and closer. Could they get a big, big result away from home this evening? Loudoun on the attack in the early seconds of the match. Keegan Tingey places one through. Hartford deals with it. In the end, Makangila is going to play a tough ball back, and Yunus Boudadi, who's back for a second stint with Hartford, can't get to it. Good Loudoun pressure, and it leads to a corner.
Yeah, poor corner to give away, isn't it? Especially for a Hartford side. They've conceded 25 goals. It's the 4th most in the USL. Only 4 goals conceded in the last 5 games, so maybe they're improving in defense, but you know, giving away set pieces like that early in the game is something that Brendan Burke will not be happy with as far as Hartford Athletic are concerned.
It's an IBEW Local 26 corner. IBEW Local 26, empower your future. McCabe bends this in for Loudoun. It's going to be headed and cleared, but it'll be recycled right back into the 18-yard box and back out of the 18-yard box for a goal kick.
And just talking about the defensive woes of Hartford Athletic, they have a -12 goal difference. It's the 2nd worst in the USL behind Miami FC, whereas Loudoun are +3. So Loudoun, as you were saying earlier on, they're a decent side, and Ryan Martin has put together an experienced team, a team with quality all over the pitch, and more coaches are talking about Loudoun being a playoff side. It never has been. They've always been a feeder team to DC United, but new ownership has brought new players in and quality experienced players, and this is it's a very different Loudoun side, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they play here today.
Yeah, it's always been the story with Loudoun. A lot of times they get off to at least a decent start, or sometimes a very good start. By these middle months of the season, they tend to fade away. That hasn't happened this year. The opposite has happened. They've been surging during this time of the season. Ryan Martin talked to us about how they had to bring in 8 new players during the off-season and took time to get the chemistry right, the camaraderie right, and they are starting to get it right at the right time of this regular season, and it feels like this could be the year we finally see Loudoun playing games into October.
And this is the sort of match Loudoun need to win, as do Hartford. If they're going to be in a playoff place, they want to beat the teams around them, scrambling to get in. It's always tough to beat the top teams, Lou City, Tampa Bay, Indy, but when you play teams around you, that's, as they say, the proverbial 6-pointer. And for Hartford, a loss here, and they'll be 9 points behind Loudoun into the second half of the season. That's a lot of ground to make up.
Ball's played forward for Marcus Epps, formerly of FC Tulsa, on the near side. Going up against Tingy. Epps tries to cross it, and all the sting is taken out of it. And Hugo Farou continues to shine in a Loudoun kit this season, gobbles it up in goal.
He's made some wonderful saves, Hugo Farou. Absolutely brilliant in previous games. I think it was the match against Las Vegas where in the dying moments he took one out of the top corner from JC Ngondo. That was one of the best saves seen for a long, long time, and one of about 5 or 6 he made that match you were doing and commentating on. In fact, both goalkeepers, Amateur and the Las Vegas goal was fantastic, but Hugo Farou, brilliant this season.
Had 7 saves in the win over the Tampa Bay Rowdies. He now has the most saves of any goalkeeper in the Eastern Conference with 49. And he was in the Team of the Week for Week 17 in the USL Championship. He's just continued to shine as the season has moved along. Nice ball onto this near side. Tingy down further this near side for Wesley Leggett. He's had a pretty good season himself, and he cuts it onto his left, but Hartford have it closed down. Joey Farrell on the case. It's out for a throw.
Yeah, we were told that Wesley Leggett was chosen ahead of Abukura, who I thought was man of the match in the last couple of games. He was absolutely brilliant against Tampa Bay at home. They wanted pace up front. I guess they felt that Hartford had pace in their attack, so maybe they would try and match them at the other end of the pitch. But I still think Abukura could be a very important player here for Loudoun in the second half. They should bring him on. 2 goals in the last 2 matches, back-to-back goals, absolutely vital for his team.
Awua plays in Florian Velo. Drew Skundrich able to find some space. We know McCabe can strike them. Is it blocked by Makangila, and Hartford clear. Was that a little bit of a nudge from Jay Chapman? Referee allows play to go on. Our referee is John Maddow. Back into the penalty area it comes. And in the end, Henan Ribeiro is there for Hartford.
Quick distribution from Ribeiro. At 34 years of age, a very experienced goalkeeper. Was playing with Sporting Lisbon, his last team, although he did go to Egypt for a short while with Al Ali. But I mean, he got 35 appearances in for Sporting Lisbon, so it seems like Hartford have got themselves a real quality goalkeeper. And in fact, Brendan Burke telling us that he felt the same, but they were very lucky to have him in the team, and certainly he's produced a lot of saves that have shown his ability. Although against Sac Republic, the goal did come from him not being able to deal with a bouncing shot, pushed it straight back into traffic, but that can happen once in a while. But overall, looks like a fantastic acquisition for Hartford Athletic.
Here's Deshane Beckford for Hartford, closed down inside the penalty area, and McCabe comes out with it. It was just a 1-0 defeat for Hartford at Sac Republic. Brendan Burke told us that he felt his team gave them a lot of trouble, more trouble than most teams do when they go to the Californian capital, but Danny Vitiello came up with some marvelous saves himself as Leggett lines one up, and he's blocked by Farrell on the edge of the Hartford penalty area.
Talk about Vitiello, he made one from Dieng in the dying moments that he had no right to make whatsoever, and they really should have got something out of it. Expected goals away at Sac Republic was over 1. Sac was just over 1.5, so they were slightly better in terms of expected goals, Sac Republic, but again, the 2 or 3 chances they had were golden opportunities to have taken something away from their visit out west.
I said earlier, Gary, how tough it is to beat the big teams in this league. Just a stat to back that up. Loudoun, of course, just did that against the Rowdies last time out. That's their first win over Tampa Bay since 2019. Wow. It's just so difficult sometimes to take out the best this league has to offer.
And it must give this Loudoun team a lot of confidence, because when you get victories like that, and well-deserved victories, I must say against Tampa Bay, it wasn't just a lucky match. The expected goals was 2.5 to 1.3 for Tampa. So they've created a ton more opportunities. And when you look at that sort of data, you start to think, hang on a second, boys, we've got a decent team here.
Controlled here by Zach Ryan. Skundrich flares it out to the far side. Kwame Awua. Velo plays it across. Oh, it was a searching ball inside the penalty area. Nobody made a run at it. No one got a touch on it. It'll go back to Hartford.
It was so good from Velo. The keeper didn't even react much to it. He just watched it fly by as well. And he set up that chance for Abakura. And the last match, I think it was, where he pulled one back from the touchline. Abakura was forced the keeper to make a save, and Abakura jumped on the loose ball. But that one, the keeper couldn't even get to that time.
Play is stopped because I think Hartford might have a problem here. Nishi Galina was slow to get up. Leading goal scorer for Hartford this season with 5. Of course, played some incredible seasons under Brendan Burke with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks a few years back. Epps in a little bit of trouble. Makangila helps to get him out of it. And Hartford come forward on the far side with Younes Boudadi in his second stint with the club. Came over in that trade that sent Romario Williams to Indy 11.
I think there's a couple of players that played for Brendan Burke. Deshane Beckford, of course, was at Colorado Springs. Jay Chapman was there as well. So he certainly has made sure he's got players that he knows and trusts to come to the club. That's why you sort of suspect that Hartford will get better as the season goes on. They will start growing and getting the results they want, because it's got too many good players and a good coach, so it has to come.
Ingalina has the step, plays it across. Faru has it covered. You can see Beckford arriving across the face of goal. Loudoun do enough defensively. Ryan Martin told us about how that's been the big onus on this team as the season has moved along, trying to become one of the best defensive teams in the USL Championship, as he put it. They've continued to improve on that week in and week out, as that's an errant pass upfield from Keegan Hughes. We look at the last moment.
He's got the pace in Galina, hasn't he? He gets down the line there. Eventually, when the shot does come, it's sort of half blocked and allows Hugo Faru to jump on it, but this is a danger of the pace of Ingalina. It just gets blocked and doesn't reach to Deshane Beckford.
Another good crowd here in Leesburg at Segra Field. That's been another thing that's slowly but surely been changing with Loudoun United over the last couple of seasons. And the support's helped Loudoun. Talked about it earlier, 5 home victories, just 2 defeats in 9. Coming into tonight, Hartford have a free kick on the far side. Here's Hodge, who's forced back. Of course, Brendan Burke trying to get Hartford back to those days in 2020, not for what was off the field, but what was on the field for Hartford Athletic. They got to the playoffs that season under Roddy Jaidi. Of course, they had the heartbreaking loss at home against St. Louis, now defunct side, USL Championship. However, Hartford haven't been back since. They'd love to change that and end the drought this season. Talked about it earlier, they're still right there in the playoff conversation, but then again, maybe besides Miami, who isn't in the Eastern Conference?
True, very true. They had a great start under Brendan Burke, and immediately I said to you and others, he's back, Brendan Burke, he's got his players, he's going to shoot up the table, and then went on a crazy skid. I think 5 or 6 games they went on a losing skid, and he said at the time they all got together, they decided they were going to have a higher line of confrontation against the opposition, they were going to defend as a unit, not just 1 or 2, and slowly they started improving again. And you're beginning to see Hartford that there's something there. There's something there that's it's almost happening. They lost 1-0 at home to Tampa Bay. That was close. And they had a Makangila sent off in that match. They lost 1-0 at Sac Republic to a late goal. In fact, the last 3 losses have all been to an 87th minute goal. So Brendan Burke saying, if I can just push it from 85 good minutes to 90 minutes, I'll start getting results.
Epps from Chapman. Chapman recovers and sends it into the middle. Loudoun had it covered initially, but then it's smashed back in. Loudoun clear for a second time. Hartford still have the possession. No touch from Chapman, who was likely in an offside position, and Loudoun will get the throw.
Clever play by Chapman there, because by not touching the ball, play could go on, and look, they've got themselves, although they haven't got the throw in, they can box Loudoun into that corner. If you touch it from an offside position, of course, it's a free kick straight away. So now you see there, they've got turnover ball in a dangerous position. Well played, Hartford.
And go right back to work, and as soon as I say that, it's a poor touch from Marcus Epps.
That commentator's curse keeps popping up.
Both coaches had the utmost respect for one another. Brendan Burke, in particular, talking about how him and Ryan Martin have shared conversations about going through similar things. Of course, Ryan Martin with Loudoun having to play younger players at times, and you talked about earlier being a feeder club at one point. Brendan Burke's been through a very similar thing with Bethlehem Steel a few years ago when they were with the Philadelphia Union organization. Did such a great job there, and that obviously transitioned into the wonderful work he did with the Switchbacks in Colorado Springs. So these two guys relate to each other, and Brendan Burke said how proud he is of Ryan Martin. Look at Brendan Burke there, of the job he's done, not just this season, but over the last seasons, working to this kind of a moment. Of course, we could say the same thing about Brendan Burke. After his great work with the Houston Dynamo, he's back here in the USL Championship.
Yeah, 2 wonderful seasons at Colorado Springs. Switchbacks got to the playoffs each time and got to the Western Final on one occasion as well. So, but for Ryan Martin, this is what all the coaches have been wanting for him. As you say, they have great respect for him, but they wanted him to have a chance to really put his stamp on a team. And this is his stamp. This is a Loudoun side, and already they're in a playoff position, and they seem to be getting stronger and stronger. He's got matching white and red trainers there, sneakers you call them, and he's in the right spirit, Ryan. But this is his moment. He's had to watch all the other coaches get the glory over the years, and now he has a chance of a team that could go a long way in these playoffs.
One thing that Ryan Martin said about that I thought really stood out, he said, you know, over the years he's had to develop young players, and that's been his main task and things like that, but he says a lot of times that's what leads to the winning anyway. You have to do that regardless of your situation, and he's gotten so good at it that when he's been able to plug in some of these veterans, now this is me talking, it's really worked out for him. And those kind of skills can help to lead to great moments like what we're seeing right now from Ryan Martin's Loudoun. Speaking of one of his veterans, Drew Skundrich puts in a challenge. Former Colorado Springs Switchbacks player. Free kick for Hartford Athletic.
The one thing I would say about that, bringing youngsters through, is, and time again, Ryan Martin mentioned it to us, they don't have the mental capacity to see out games and get victories, whereas his current team, with their experience, you know, good teams like that, when it's 1-1 going into the last 10 minutes, they're the ones who drive forward, who find the extra gear, who've got that little bit of extra, you know, nastiness to them to go on and physically dominate other teams. That you don't get from youngsters. And this is the first time Ryan Martin's got a team that can do that from, that can win games when they need to in those last 5 to 10 minutes.
Good pressure here from Hartford. They get a throw in on the far side of the pitch. Velo and McCabe closing things down. Loudoun have possession once more, but Velo runs out of space. A couple weeks ago, I asked Ryan Martin about Florian Velo, and he called him an extension of the coaching staff out on the pitch. That's pretty high praise, considering how many good players are in this Loudoun 11. Just talked about that they've gotten so much more than what they've expected, and they expected a lot out of Florian Velo. Said it's even exceeded that, what they've gotten from him in returns. And part of that, of course, is what he's meant as a personality inside that locker room. Here's Chapman for Hartford. Both teams have been probing quite a bit. Marcus Epps looks for space, and he's able to get his shot away, but it's tame. And the play that Hugo Farou's been providing of late is going to take much better than that to beat him from that distance.
You could see he sort of slapped his hand immediately afterwards. He knew it wasn't a good strike. I think he was sort of aiming to whip it round that far post, and just the connection wasn't there. But you know what? It's worth trying because he has that in his locker. He can pull out the odd shot that ended up in the top corner.
More Hartford pressure. Skundrich and company able to play their way through. Almost. Here's McCabe. Played square by Yanis Learman. McCabe and Loudoun handled that rather well. Get it to half field, and now maybe play themselves in behind. Good touch from Velo, who's taken out. Referee brings it back. It's a Loudoun free kick. It's a yellow card as well.
That's a great touch from Velo. It's a lovely build-up out of defense. Moved the ball from right to left and then down the touchline, down the channel. And Velo's first touch is what controls that ball straight away. And then he's able to get to the second ball. And Jordan Scarlett picking up a yellow. Coming in a little bit late there. The captain, he's got to be careful the rest of the match.
Former Louisville and former Tampa Bay Rowdies stand out. Concedes the free kick. Tommy McCabe will look to find someone in a white shirt inside the Hartford penalty area. McCabe's ball in, and he's right at Ribeiro.
He's going to come all day and catch those, Ribeiro. It's not a good set piece. You want to keep it away from a goalkeeper of that ability. In fact, almost any goalkeeper would have come and caught that. It was that close to the keeper. It's annoying because Velo's done so well to bring that ball down and win the free kick. The build-up to get in the ball was really good quality, and then a bad set piece just wastes it all.
In a game where chances have been hard to come by so far.
True. But we'll liven up as this match goes along. There's too many good players and too many positions for this not to be an exciting game, I hope.
This time McCabe is the one on the floor, and it's a Loudoun free kick.
Let's get ready to Game Night on DC News Now with Derek Forrest, Brandy Flores, Alex Flum, and Jake Ron. Game Night, the only 7-day-a-week sports show tonight at 11 on DC News Now.
Learman controls for Loudoun. As we get back to live action. Again, Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. Segra Field in Leesburg, Virginia. 7th place Loudoun, 10th place Hartford. Big midweek match in the USL Championship. Although, I keep saying how important these matches are. Every one of them. We're in July. Very, very important, but that's the way we like it. That's the way it's been. No questions about that.
This USL this year is the best it has ever been, and just chatting to Brendan Burke about it, he said the same thing. He said it's so tough. There's not a poor team anywhere to be found. There's no gimme games. Every game is a battle. And there's going to be some good teams who don't make the play. I mean, really good teams. In the past, it's mostly been the two sides, but now it'll be some top side who won't make the playoffs.
Both of Hartford's center backs are now on yellow cards. Joey Farrell's challenge comes in there. Doesn't get any of the ball, receives a yellow card.
Guess who you target. That's the moment you start sliding, you don't get the ball, you're in trouble. on Leggett, but if you are now Loudoun and you're Zach Ryan in picture there, guess who you're going to be targeting every time you get the ball? You run in the box, you're going to be going for those two, saying, you what? You want to get this ball off me? You're going to have to risk tripping me up and getting the second yellow. And so that's hugely to Loudoun's advantage.
Kwame Awuah will provide the deliveries. Had a really, really strong campaign for Loudoun. Can he pick somebody out? Good ball in. Hartford deal with it. Ingalina helps it along. Epps tries to track it down. Loudoun look to recycle the play with Velo. Nice ball centrally. Keegan Tingy. Zach Ryan. It ricochets around and Leggett. Oh, brilliant goal. Wesley Leggett with a beautiful touch and finish. Loudoun just keeps on surging in the USL Championship, and they lead by 1-0.
That's a great finish from Wesley Leggett. It's a tight angle that is not easy to get that in the back of the net past the goalkeeper as good as Henan Ribeiro. But it's the pressure's been coming. There you go. Take the salutes, young man. You deserve it. He's got his chance. One of the changes, or the only change in the Loudoun side. But Zach Ryan here's one. Puts the ball in. It gets deflected slightly, but the chest just sets it up for the volley that follows. Have a look. Here's a slight deflection. Chest it, and then regains his balance. Side foots that into the corner. Great skills to be able to combine the control of the ball with the repositioning of your body and the side foot and get the right angle. Fantastic goal there from Wesley Leggett.
Fourth goal of the season for Wesley Leggett. It's presented by Hanley Energy management for a digital age. I believe it's also the first shot on target for Loudoun as well. That's brought to you by Smoothie King in the DMV. It's tried the new Dude Perfect Smoothie at Smoothie King. Get yours now. Loudoun not satisfied. They come forward again. Leggett's the target, and it's headed away from him. Skundrich follows up. Touched away from him. And Hartford bring the ball up the other end. Game's gone up a few notches. Hartford looked to respond at the other end with Epps. First time ball in. Ingalina! He's going to head it wide of the target with two men on him. Fair play. He gets contact on it. But Farouk doesn't have to make a stop.
Okay, that cross had a bit too much time on it, and it allows the defenders to get into Ingalina, to, as you say, to sort of nudge him and make it extremely difficult to get a powerful header on target. But if we were wondering whether Wesley Leggett should have been chosen to start this match, well, he's proved he should be. There you go, a bit of a nudge in the back. It's always difficult. You want a ball as a striker that's flat, it doesn't have much height in it, doesn't give defenders time to react. But back to Wesley Leggett. The one change, and Ryan Martin got it right. We're looking at it going, Abakura, man of the match last couple of games. You're leaving him out. But it's because he wanted that pace, and not just pace, but in this case, the ability to chest the ball, regain your balance, and side-foot it into the corner. That's the top-class finish.
Ryan Martin said to the media earlier in the week that one of the important things for Loudoun moving forward is keeping their depth intact and avoiding injuries. That's one of the differences with Loudoun this season. They have depth, and you bring out Abukura, bring in Leggett, haven't skipped a beat.
As we said, it's a proper team now. It's got experience everywhere. It's got quality players. It's got depth off the bench, and their belief is growing. And the victory over Tampa Bay, that locker room, I've got no doubt they would have been saying to each other, guys, we've got something going here that can take us not just into the playoffs, but well beyond if we just apply ourselves and we work as a team, which is exactly what they're doing.
Another ball whipped into the penalty area, headed away by Scarlett, and cleared by Boudadi. Epps tried to follow up, but Loudoun win the ball back again. McCabe. Skundrich. Tingy. Back for Skundrich. Thought about playing it in, thought better of it. Learman. Trying to thread through the Hartford defense, but a poor touch leads to a clearance. And Faroux will gobble up any further opportunities.
That's a verticality that is a feature of Hartford with the pace of Nglina up front, that long ball out of defense in the hope of catching the centre-back sleeping, but both centre-back and goalkeeper were aware of it there, so no real threat to Loudoun.
Skundrich up ahead. Tingy involved again. Dispossessed by Hodge. Good challenge. And then Beckford has nowhere to run. A little frustration at the end of that play from him. It's out for a throw.
Yeah, 1-0 to Loudoun, and it's not a surprise because you look at the last 3 games, their expected goals has been over 2 in each of the last 3. 2.57 against Tampa Bay, 2.38 against Miami, 2.07 against Las Vegas. So not a team who sit back and hope to get the odd chance and take them. They create a ton of chances, and in fact, the Las Vegas match, going back to that, they could easily have had 3 or 4 there. That's how good they were. So this is a team that, I always believe, if you're creating opportunities, if your expected goals is high, and you've got the quality to finish off those chances, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be a top team, and certainly Loudoun again proving that here so far tonight.
Tingy bending it in. The header is going to fly up into the air. And in the end, coming down with it is Ribeiro with Leggett lurking. And Scarlett down in a heap.
Scarlett getting bumped by his goalkeeper as the keeper came to get that ball. There's Faroux on the other side. 2 very good goalkeepers. The quality of player in the USL, just looking at the keepers, is going up and up, and as they come for a water break. And again, talking to the coaches, they say the money pouring into the USL means the quality of player that's coming there is getting better and better. And we're seeing it in some of the players that are now featuring in the USL.
Now the big moment of the game so far provided by Wesley Leggett. Beautiful touch initially on this ball coming in, and the finish was just as good.
Zach Ryan putting the ball in the danger area, gets a slight deflection, but almost all the work being done by Leggett, to bring the ball down, and then just to gather, you've got to regather your balance. He's leaning backwards to chest that ball, so you've got to regather his balance, still keeping an eye on where the goal is, and then side foot with power into the corner. Fantastic finish.
Well, coming into the night, Zach Ryan has 5 goals. He also has 3 assists. And again, showing you the distribution ability in that sequence as well, but take nothing away from the finish. Both coaches get an opportunity to reset. Hartford in particular, as it seems like Loudoun are really starting to pick up some steam.
Yeah, it's a tough spell for Hartford. They're struggling to get results. You know, that last time out against Sac Republic, lost at home to Tampa Bay. Yes, they did beat Pittsburgh in the game before that, but to be fair, Pittsburgh have struggled all season, and the last 6 games, just 2 wins and a draw. So, you know, it's not coming together for Brandenburg, and you saw it in the first few matches when it did come together. So him and the players desperately just trying to tinker with a few things to see if they can turn the corner. The quality of player on that pitch, as you look at them, you know, Chapman in midfield, Van Kaziel, Makangila up front, Beckford and Galina. It's a quality side. It's just not quite coming together. And again, because the USL is so good now, every team they come up against is a quality side. So it's not easy to pick up 3 points anymore.
Okay, we talked about it earlier. Hartford just 1 win, 6 defeats in 7 prior road games. Again, it's been more encouraging for Hartford these last few weeks. However, Brandenburg talked to us about how at this point in the season, the 2 biggest things that Hartford need to address, conceding goals at the back and continuing to improve defensively. That has been happening. But the other side of the coin, specifically on the road, Hartford have really struggled to score goals. And the other thing that I should point out as well, Hartford this season, when they've conceded first, 1 win, 1 draw, 9 defeats.
Wow.
When they've scored first, they're 4 wins out of 4, but they've only scored first 4 times. It's happened that they've conceded a goal first for now the 12th time this season. The numbers would tell you that that doesn't bode well for them.
It doesn't, but data and numbers are there to be disproved if you have a heart and belief, and that's what good teams do in situations like that. They fight back, they find a way to win. Unfortunately for Hartford, conceding 3 goals after the 85th minute, they've shown a way to lose. And that's not because they're playing badly, it's just there's something just missing. You've got to be on the front foot at the end of games. That way you get the lucky deflections, the lucky goals, the penalties, whatever. If you're defending, you're likely to concede. So there's something that still needs to happen to this Hartford side to get them to be more positive. But look at the line of confrontation here. They're pushing up, they're trying to high press. They're making it difficult for Loudoun, but Loudoun's got ability and they're finding a way through.
Ingalina enters the penalty area, has help arriving, and Faroux is forced into making a save with Budati lurking. Chapman tries to pick up the pieces. Beverly Makangila plays in Hodge. It's the closest Hartford have come in this first half to breaching the net.
Good opportunity, wasn't it? Very tight angle to beat Faroux. So unlikely to score. Just wonder if it could have been pulled back, but at least a positive sign going forward.
Beckford. Deshane Beckford cutting inside. His shot is blocked. Hodge trying to follow up. Leggett escapes. And Wesley Leggett has time and space down this near side for Loudoun. It's still Leggett, and he tries to shoot. Farrell blocks it as he's finally stopped before entering the 6-yard box. Farrell has the wind knocked out of him. It's a Loudoun throw.
That's a great run by Leggett. It is so good. He has Hodge on his back the whole time, but he just keeps stepping in front of Hodge, almost tempting the left full back to bring him down. And so Hodge has to keep stepping out the way. Have a look here, he's going to step across Hodge now. And then you're going to be very careful because he's looking for the penalty. And there wasn't enough for Leggett to go down, and unfortunately Joey Farrell takes it in a very painful area. But Leggett with his pace, proving what a good player is and what a good decision it was by Ryan Martin to start him.
Tinky from the throw to Zach Ryan, who was dispossessed, and it's out for a goal kick. Competition is heating up this summer on CBS. Sac Republic look for revenge against red-hot Oakland Roots, Sunday, July 21st, 4 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, August 3rd, 4 p.m., surging Detroit City take on newcomers Rhode Island FC for the very first time as the USL Summer of Soccer continues on the CBS network. It's been great seeing the USL Championship, of course, on ESPN Plus, but also on CBS, CBS Sports Network, CBS Sports Golazo Network this season as well. Univision picking up some games in the Spanish language as well. All really, really good things for the league moving forward. As Hartford move forward here, Beckford in behind. It was a really good ball. Epps was just a step late, and Loudoun had it covered anyway with Awua clearing.
It was a good ball from Deshane Beckford because he hit it nice and early, and it didn't give the defenders time to settle. And Epps just floating in at the far post was nearly, oh, is that a bad tackle over the top? Makangila again. He got sent off last, or previous match to last, for 2 yellows, the second of which was an over-the-top tackle. But who's picking it up here?
This is McCabe, I think, who's going to be booked. That's the outcome. Free kick for Hartford, as Loudoun are saying, shouldn't that have gone the other way, ref?
Have a look at it again. I think McCabe, oh, I tell you what, that's not a yellow, that's a red. That is a straight red card. If the referee had the advantage that we have of seeing that again, that is most certainly a red card. And Makangil is naughty. As I say, he got sent off 2 games ago against, where was it? It was Tampa Bay. for a second yellow, and the second yellow was very similar over the top, but that was even worse.
Epps. And Ingalina gets his head onto it again. It ricochets off of, I think, Learman, and it's going to be a Hartford corner. Of course, the other part of that equation, Gary, is that it was Hartford that got the decision out of all of that, and McCabe's the one that receives a card.
It's very difficult for referees. They get to see it once immediately, and you don't always get the easiest of views. For John Matto, we have the advantage of the replay. If there was VAR, that would have been a red card, in my opinion, but very lucky, Beverly Makangila.
Hartford in search of an equalizing goal. About 6 minutes till the halftime break. Benton at the near post. Awuwa was ready for it, heads it away. Back in by Beckford. McCabe this time is there. Beckford plays in Makangila. In by Hodge, it's dangerous, but Faroux is there just after Scarlett nearly got his head on that.
Good ball in. It's a much more testing cross. Faroux doing really well to come and get that under all sorts of pressure. That's better. Hard for the last 10 minutes since conceding. Looked much more positive. Good ball coming in. Shots coming in from left and right. This is what Brendan Burke would have wanted from his team. Unfortunately, it's taken conceding a goal to bring it out of them.
Good use of the drinks break so far. But here comes Loudoun again. Tingy. Velo for Skundrich. Skundrich again. A couple opportunities there maybe to take a shot on there. No one obliges. McCabe. Velo. Back to Zach Ryan, who continues to push on. In the end, Hartford get it clear through Ribeiro. First 25 minutes, both teams were waiting to get some opportunities, but Wesley Leggett broke the deadlock shortly after. And since then, both teams have really started to pick things up a tick, specifically in the attacking third. Farrell, dispossessed. The goal scorer, Leggett. There's a wonderful ball up ahead to Zach Ryan. McCabe joins in. Awuwa was making a good run down the far side. Tingy joins in on the near side. Tingy into the middle. Velo is wide open. Oh, it's off the line. Hartford are bailed out by Joey Farrell's goal line clearance, and Velo is thwarted with Loudoun in search of a second.
Wow, how close is that for Lowe? He's been setting up goals, scoring goals in the last few weeks, and this one was inches away from hitting the back of the net. Tingy with the ball in. He's unmarked at the far post for Lowe. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. Goalkeeper makes a decent save, and then Joey Farrell just scoops it off the line. But to leave Velo unmarked on the edge of your 6-yard box is asking for trouble, Hartford.
Besides Zach Ryan, Florian Velo is probably the first player that you'd be looking to mark in that position, you would think. Another challenge here goes against Loudoun. Awuwa puzzled as Budati is down hurt. It's a Hartford free kick, but more importantly, Hartford medical staff's going to come on and check on Younes Budati, who stays down and appears to be hurt. Kwame Awuwa was puzzled that a foul was called at all, as is Ryan Martin.
A bit of a lecture going on here from the referee, trying to sort things out. No. Let's have another look and see if we can make head nor tails of it. Let's have a look here. It's a little bit of an elbow. It's a little bit of an elbow there that comes out from Awuha, but I just thought it was two players honestly going for the ball. Didn't see anything more than that.
Your all-access pass to the latest forecast from Janessa Webb, Jackie Layer, Damon Matson, Scott Sumner, and Brittany Ward. All across the DMV. DC News Now weather.
Well, at the end of all of that, Hartford do get a free kick. See if Budati is okay to continue. He is. He's back on. He's on the ball here for Hartford right away. Makes a nice run through the defense. His shot is blocked by Keegan Hughes for Loudoun. Zach Ryan looks to get Loudoun back on the front foot. Velo looking for Leggett. Great ball in behind. And Leggett in the end can't quite hold on to it. Farrell clears and wins a throw.
Again, the danger of getting Leggett into the box. Joey Farrell's going to tread so carefully there, especially as he's on a yellow as well, but it could be a penalty, and that's what you want to do. Get balls into Zach Ryan and to Leggett inside the box and just tempt the centre backs into making an error.
Dambrot forced all the way back as we approach first half injury time at the end of the first half. That's seen Loudoun take the lead and almost extend the lead. Weren't for a great goal line clearance from Joey Farrell. We're into a minimum of 5 first half stoppage time minutes, brought to you by Novak. Novak's energy saving tips are a real game changer. Mostly half chances for Hartford, but they did have the opportunity that Farouz saved off of Budati from a tough angle. That was their best opportunity in an attacking sense in the half. Nice touch and play up ahead. Loudoun to extend the lead at the end of the half, and it's a lovely chip ball over the top. Awuwa plays it centrally. Leggett lays it off, and it's a wonderful finish. Beautifully placed by Zach Ryan. And Loudoun double their delight in Leesburg. They lead by 2-0 on Zach Ryan's team-leading 6th goal of the season.
Yeah, fantastic goal from Loudoun. The way they built it up, they got the ball into the box, they were able to knock it down and set up Zach Ryan for the shot. Leggett once again playing a huge part in this match. But look here, the ball gets knocked up and it gets headed down. Leggett decides he can't score, so what he'll do is set it up. But Zach Ryan was ready for it. He was assuming the ball was going to come to him. It already probably marked his angle, and straight away he puts it into the corner and gives Henan Ibero no chance. And Awuwa playing his part as well in knocking it to Leggett. So beautifully crafted goal by Loudoun, and now look to really be in the driving seat at home.
Zach Ryan's goal is presented by Hanley Energy, energy management for the digital age. You said it, Gary. A work of art from Loudoun United in the build-up. A pinpoint finish from Zach Ryan, who continues to ooze quality for Ryan Martin's side. Wesley Leggett has a goal and an assist in this first half. He's played a massive part, and he's back on the ball here for Loudoun. We're really surging. Ryan couldn't get to it. Velo leaves it. It's McCabe who strikes it. Blocked away by Scarlett. Skundrich picks up the pieces. Leggett for Learman. Loudoun could really put an exclamation point on at the end of the half here. Tingy wins it back. And keeps it alive. Couple potential foul shouts there, none given. Loudoun reset. Dambrot down the line. Gets it back from Velo. Awuwa joins in. turns out of trouble. Zach Ryan for Tingy. Tingy bends it in, all the way in, but it's stopped in the end by Ribeiro.
It took too long, Tingy. Sometimes you got to whip that ball in first opportunity before the defenders settle, but he thought about it on his right foot, thought about it, then he came on his left foot, and by the time he eventually put it in, there were no runs anymore. The attackers have stopped making their runs. They weren't quite sure what to do. But it takes nothing away from a first half that has just been fantastic for Loudoun. Haven't really given Hartford much of a sniff of goals. I don't think Farouz had a big save to make. There's that one you mentioned from Budadi, but a very tight angle. On the other side, they've scored two. They could have had a third kicked off the line. They really look an impressive outfit now, with all this experience and skill they have. And this is a battle now for Hartford to get back in this game.
McCabe sprays it out for Valo. Valo's cross blocked and then cleared by Jordan Scarlett. And then McCabe, no communication there, it looks like. He gives the ball away. Chapman. Could this be an avenue back in for Hartford? They have 40 seconds to try and get this back within one. Budadi. Brandenburg talked about his athleticism and pace. We've seen it at times in this first half. But can Hartford get a goal back? Hodge. Beckford. Back in Gila. Just about spraying it out to the far side. Budadi could be the last attack of the half. Chapman. Into the middle of the penalty area. Learman heads it clear. Out for a Hartford throw. Thrown back in by Hodge. We've had the 5 added minutes. Referee just checked his watch. Maybe time for one last Hartford attack. Loudoun fended off. Out for another throw. I've just been told that there's another minute that's been added on to the minimum of 5. So that's why we continue to play on for another 30 seconds.
Well, the locker room chat, Brendan Burr's going to have to come up with a way to get good service into Ingalina and Beckford. They've really not threatened. They've got fantastic pace up front, but they haven't been a threat to Loudoun at all. Service from midfield hasn't been good. Service from out wide has been lofted high balls that have been very easy for defenders and goalkeeper to deal with. So lots of work for Brendan Burr to do at halftime.
Challenge from Younes Budadi leads to a free kick for Loudoun. Bit of a talking to there, nothing more than that. And the kick won't be taken. That's the end of the half here in Leesburg. A half that the Loudoun faithful will be very, very proud of, because Wesley Leggett has been tremendous. A goal and an assist for him, and a wonderful strike from Zach Ryan has Ryan Martin's side up by 2 at the half.
Yeah, looking fantastic and just doing everything correctly in the right way. Must be very happy, Ryan Martin. Only question is, what can Hartford Athletic do in the second half? Big halftime coming up for Brendan Burke.
No question about that, but it's been all Loudoun in Leesburg so far. They've looked every bit the contenders that they're rounding into as this USL Championship season rolls along. Good crowd here in Leesburg. They've enjoyed it. Loudoun have a 2-0 lead over Hartford at the half.
DC News Now is only getting bigger.
We're taking over the DMV with a regional approach to news that fits your needs better than anyone else.
With multi-state traffic patterns, we're giving you a narration that really helps you get around.
Giving you a larger scope of the area so you're better informed of incoming weather. Because if it's raining in Chantilly, it's probably not raining in Bethesda. Yet.
DC News Now.
The station in the know, in the community.
And covering more ground than anyone in the DMV.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
The season is right around the corner. It's two of the best teams in DC going head-to-head.
Unstoppable. The season is upon us, and tonight, the battle for bragging rights in the district.
It's one of the most exciting times in the year in sports.
Knifing through the middle, gets into the scores.
One team looking to make history.
Full slate of highlights and games on game night later tonight at 11 p.m.
Isn't it nice when your everyday life hums along exactly as you expected? With reliable power from Novec, it does. Customers enjoy a 99.99% reliability rating, online and traditional payment methods, as well as 24/7 service. Getting electricity from Novec may be the most unexciting part of your life, and that's okay. Keep humming along with reliable power from Novec.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you at the half. Really good first half from Loudoun United. They lead by 2-0 over Hartford Athletic with a big 45 minutes still to come here in Leesburg, Virginia. We'll see how it plays out in just a little bit, but first we have a chance to recap some of the scores from around the USL Championship from the weekend. And Gary, I think the first two that jump off the page, Louisville winning at Birmingham by 4-1, and that crazy game in San Antonio that saw New Mexico lead and win by 3-2.
New Mexico having a wonderful season. San Antonio just the opposite. They're second bottom in the West. I mean, it must be for the last 3 or 4 seasons have always been in the top 2 or 3 in the West. So big shock there. Louisville, question marks about Birmingham Legion. Are they going to be good enough to stay in those playoff positions? Monterey Bay losing yet still in the top sort of 4 or 5 in the West. But so tight there. Oakland Roots could win for them against managerless Orange County.
Vegas as well. Keep an eye on the lights. Dennis Sanchez doing a really good job. They beat Pittsburgh on Saturday by 2-0. Team of the week in week 17. Again, we talked about it earlier. Ryan Martin, coach of the week, and rightfully so, was tremendous. We talked about Abukura and Faru also on there as well, but the player of the week was M.D. Myers from the Charleston Battery.
He's had an incredible season, absolutely brilliant. Corey Bennett has been so good for Las Vegas Lights, as has JC Ngondo. And Quizera for Rhode Island, been very, very impressive last couple of games on that left-hand side.
Michael Bryant and Akeem Ward also been very good. 3 Memphis players getting in there for Team of the Week. Carson Baum Steeg and Zach Duncan as well. They might be turning a corner in the West as well. Loudoun, 2-0 up on Hartford. They've been phenomenal so far. We'll see if they can keep it up in the second 45 minutes. We'll look more into the summer of soccer in the USL Championship and a lot more coming up next.
New flavors. The same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked bebidas.
Right now, the first time. Oh, wow! It's Marquez! What a stunner that is!
Back pulled it in! Birmingham have an equalizer in second half stoppage time.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of
News Now is worth watching.
Good morning and thanks for starting your day with us here on DC News Now.
Wake up with the team super serving the DMV.
If you want to get a head start out there before you head out the door this morning.
Keeping you in the know as you start your day.
Live here in Bowie, live in Dulles.
With weather and traffic that won't keep you guessing.
In DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
Wake up with a team focusing on all the communities in the DMV. Watch DC News Now. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9. It's worth watching.
Back here at the half between Loudoun United and Hartford Athletic. It's the men from Virginia that have the 2-0 advantage. Fans are happy with 45 minutes still to play. We'll see if Hartford can bounce back in the second half. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey here with you. Let's dive into the summer of soccer around the USL Championship. All these games will either be on CBS, CBS Sports Network, or on ESPN2. Seen a lot of Detroit in there, lots of Hartford and Rhode Island as well getting some love on the national stage. July 4th is the next big one. Tomorrow, CBS Sports Network, the Switchbacks taking on Tulsa. It seems like they play around this time every year. Those two teams, they're both right in the mix in the West.
Yeah, they are. 3 points becoming more and more important as we sort of close in towards playoff times. Charleston hosts Birmingham Legion. That'll always be a tough match. And then Legion again against Rhode Island, who, by the way, are coming really good. That 5-2 thumping of Blue City at Lynn Family Stadium was a big shock. El Paso, maybe under a new coach, they could start rising against Phoenix Rising. In fact, every one of these has such a story to it. It's well worth watching.
And a couple for Hartford as well. July 20th against Pittsburgh, July 31st against Detroit City. Coming up next week, of course, Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup play in the quarter-final round. New Mexico and Indy waving the flag for the USL Championship, along with Sac Republic. 3 teams with a chance to maybe get to a semi. Who knows? Maybe even that September final.
I hope so. So exciting for the USL teams. The problem is, I think the likes of LAFC and Atlanta United, they're all taking it very seriously, Dallas. So I can see them, Seattle Sounders, putting out a really strong side, and then it becomes tough to make those semi-finals. But good luck to the USL teams.
I'll tell you what, Sac Republic at home, I wouldn't want them in the U.S. Open Cup. We'll see how the Sounders do in that one in particular. Great to see all those teams making deep runs. We'll see how deep those runs will be. Highlights and stats are coming up next before we get back out to the second half between Loudoun and Hartford Athletic. Ryan Martin's side surging at the right moment. They have a 2-0 lead with 45 minutes to play in Leesburg.
Does anyone feel like life can be really messy? I know I do. There is something shady going on. There's a million ways to cheat, and everybody lives on their phone. I found a screenshot of this woman. Let's be real. The game has changed. I cheated, you cheated. So what? I'm here to help make sense of it all, because trust, I've been through it all. And I'm not afraid to get into your mess. You are not winning in life. Let that sink in. So let's get into it.
Karamo, weekdays at 3 on DCW 50.
Rising up like lightning. Won't give up, nothing can keep me down. Fire it up, I'm fighting. Won't give up, I'm gonna hold my ground.
Get tickets for our next match and info on special events at LoudounUnitedFC.com.
You thought you knew Cuomo.
See the game, my friends. Expose the game.
The real Chris just might surprise you.
So you can change the game.
Surprising.
The agenda is you.
Free thinking.
News Nation is the only news organization whose name is reflective of you.
Game changing.
America is News Nation.
Cuomo, weeknights at 8, 7 Central, only on America's fastest growing cable news network, News Nation. News for all America.
Gas prices got you fuming? No need to get heated. Save time and money with Metro. Ride, save, explore. Metro. Make your trip monumental. Sightsee through DC without overspending on gas and ride shares. Experience DC the local way. Ride, save, explore. Metro.
I love to go for a nice hike outside or go get a coffee.
Grabbing a coffee at SR Coffee Co. My favorite thing to do in Loudoun County is go to South Block or Sense of Thai.
Oh! My favorite thing to do in Loudoun County is to go to Goose Cup Coffee in Leesburg.
My favorite thing to do in Loudoun County is walk on the W&OD Trail down to downtown historic Leesburg.
Favorite thing to do in Loudoun County is go to parks or Sensitize.
Sponsor us. Sponsor us.
Really enjoyed going to the Melt.
Can't wait to see you guys July 3rd with fireworks after the game.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you. That's right, there's going to be a big fireworks show at the end of the game tonight. It's been fireworks in the good sense for Loudoun in the first 45 minutes, and some of that caffeine from the coffee drinkers on the Loudoun side helping things out in the first 45 minutes. Ryan Martin's side have been very, very good. Let's recap the first half with our first half highlights. And Gary, we jump into the 11th minute, and again, took the game a little bit of time to get going, but it was Hartford that started to go in the attack first and foremost.
Galina's paced on that left-hand side, causing a few problems, but the cross blocked and easy for Farrow to jump on it, but that was the danger. And that was one of the few times we saw Mishi actually create problems for Loudoun United.
Then a real moment of quality here from Wesley Leggett off a great ball in from Zach Ryan.
The ball gets deflected from Zach Ryan, but the chest and the subsequent volley, just top class, great body positioning, side of the foot, picks it out, puts enough pace in it to give Ribeiro no chance whatsoever. That is a fantastic goal.
His fourth of the season. Hartford looked to find a response here.
Budadi from a very tight angle, and Farrow doing what he does so well, just blocks it there, doesn't allow it to sneak between his legs. He has been solid in goals for Loudoun United.
And Wesley Leggett doesn't just score, he can provide an assist as well. But before we get to that, huge stop here from Joey Farrell.
Yeah, this is Valo. When you think this is going to hit the back of the net, keeper stops it, and as it's going over the line, Joey Farrell just hooks it clear, but that just sort of delayed the inevitable. Ball in here gets knocked back down, and Leggett this time supplies Zach Ryan the other way around, and Ryan was ready and waiting for it because he just, as it came to him straight away, he bends it into the far corner. That's a fantastic finish.
His sixth goal of the season to lead Loudoun United. It's been Wesley Leggett and Zach Ryan leading the way, and Hartford have a mountain to climb in the second half. Looks like Brendan Burke has made a halftime adjustment. Anderson Asiadu has come on for Marcus Epps. It looks like Ryan Martin has kept the same 11 out there as the second half is underway here at Segra Field. Hartford will be going from left to right. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey, our entire crew, happy to have you with us on a Wednesday night here in Virginia.
It doesn't surprise me that Brendan Burke's made a change. He needed to do something to get his team a bit more positive, and maybe this is more of a midfielder, someone who can come a little bit deeper, Asiadu, and then can still attack. So maybe they want to control a bit more of the ball and see if they can get Galina and Beckford. That was what we said before halftime. Those two, we haven't seen them, we haven't seen their pace. That's the task, I would think, for Asiadu in the second half.
Loudoun looking to pick up where they left off at the end of the first half. Leggett for Ryan! These two just can't be stopped at the moment. 2 assists for Leggett, 2 goals for Ryan, 3 goals for Loudoun, and they're ripping Hartford apart.
Wesley Leggett absolutely brilliant down that right-hand side. Zach Ryan with a fairly comfortable toss, but well tucked in by the captain. But Wesley Leggett's pace, what a decision by Ryan Martin, as he's the only change in the team from the team that won last time out. You wouldn't think it needed much of a change, but look at the acceleration, and goes past his defender and just sees exactly where Zach Ryan is, who just steps away from Jordan Scarlett, goes in and then slows down to provide a bit of an angle for Leggett to find him. Leggett's got a head up, there's the ball, there's the finish, nothing Ribeiro can do. And just when we were saying Brendan Burke's made a change to get his team back in it, Loudoun have just thrust the sword right through them now. 3-0. This is a mountain to climb for the visiting side.
Another Hanley energy goal for Loudoun. Energy management for a digital age. It's just getting better and better for Loudoun United tonight, and it's getting worse and worse for Hartford Athletic as their road woes have seemingly continued here tonight. What a duo. Leggett and Ryan have been the Loudoun conductors in the attack, and they seemingly haven't put a foot wrong all night. Ryan Martin talked to us about that game against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. He told us that they had taken a few more of their chances. They could have put the Rowdies away a little bit earlier in that game. They're trying to put Hartford away early in this second half.
Yeah, Brendan Burke saying that Loudoun must now start to be considered as a top side. He said the way they're playing, they're better than some of the top sides. And I think to prove that point right here today, 3-0 up already. It's a fantastic team that Ryan Martin has built here.
Velo. Skundrich. Tingy for Leggett. And Leggett this time is dispossessed by Farrell. Remember, if Joey Farrell didn't have his goal line clearance, Florian Velo would be on the score sheet right now as well. Hartford have been up against the wall for most of the evening.
They've been defensively very tight the last 4 or 5 games. Hartford Athletic only conceding 3 goals in the last 4 games.
Dambrot! Stopped by Hibero after a good feed from Awua, who gets it right back. McCabe. Loudoun can smell it. Trying to put another one through that could potentially seal the deal on the night. Tingy. Back for Leggett. Leggett for Ryan, and it's cut out by Scarlett. Velo follows up. Scarlett has to get it out of harm's way at the expense of a throw.
Well, the last 4 games for Hartford, they conceded 3 goals. They've conceded 3 goals here in 40, 6-7 minutes. They have been defensively tight, but Loudoun have just torn them apart.
Zach Ryan's on a hat-trick for Loudoun. He finds space! And Jordan Scarlett does just enough to put him off.
It's good to see the captain back in the form that he's used to. He's been struggling last few games. Zach Ryan to come up with the goals that he's wanted. But look how sharp he is now. Didn't score against Tampa Bay, didn't score against Miami. It's only back FC Tulsa on the 1st of June that he scored. But 2 today and an assist has made up for all of that.
Out for a Hartford throw as they look to get some foothold in the match. Opportunity here. Can they cross it into the middle? It's headed centrally, but Loudoun have enough numbers behind it to get it clear. Asiadu was trying to get something on that centrally. He did. Loudoun collapsed on it. Chapman. Out to the far side. Hodge. Only good news for Hartford might be that there still is a lot of time left, but they have to climb one steep mountain if they're going to get back into this.
I haven't seen enough evidence yet that they can do that. They certainly haven't really tested Hugo Farreau. Maybe with the change of Asiadu, and there's a couple of other options for them. Mamadou Jang, maybe. He had a great chance against Sac Republic. The Vitiello made a magnificent save from. Danny Barrera, perhaps. Come on and have a chance to turn back the clock and create a bit around the edge of the box, but It hasn't been that impressive so far from Hartford, so it's hard to see how they can get themselves back into this match.
McCabe stifles the build-up play. Faroux sends it ahead for Loudoun.
And on the other hand, Loudoun have all sorts of talent on the bench, including Abukura, who's, as we said, man of the match last couple of games, Riley Bidwa, Cristiano Francois, and I expect to see a whole bunch of them. Now they're 3-0 up. You would think that Ryan Martin, around about the 60th minute and onwards, will start subbing in players and giving them a run up, because you've got to be fairly confident that they've got this match as close to wrapped up as you can get.
That's the other part of the equation too, considering how well Loudoun have been defensively of late. That makes the task that much more difficult for Hartford. Beckford. Still dealing with Tingy. He gets past him and into the penalty area. It was up for grabs. Faroux may have got a touch on that. It ricochets out of trouble. Hartford do get the ball back through Hodge. Hodge bends it in, and Galina's header goes over the top and out of play.
That's much better from Hartford. Fighting, getting stuck in, trying to win that ball, whip it into the box. Galina's heading isn't his strong point necessarily, but give him something to work with. You might see a response. Expected goals from this side in the first half, just 0.2 already. They're probably producing more than that. That ball there already tested Faroux and the defense. So much better from Hartford. Why does it take them to get 3-0 down before they start really playing on the pressure up front?
Velo tried to find Awua. It's cut out. Boudadi bends the ball towards the penalty area. Galina was the target. It's touched for Dambrot. Well, that's a giveaway from Skundrich. Asiadu did really well, but it's going to be brought back for a free kick, and a yellow card comes out.
Yeah, there was a tug, I think, by Keegan Hughes there on Asiadu. Asiadu kept going. And in fact, maybe the referee should have let that whole play out before pulling it back, but I think he felt that it had slowed down Asiadu so much that he'd lost the advantage. Have a look at it here, Asiadu, and there's the tug. Not much of a tug, but just enough to slow Asiadu down.
Looks like that was Drew Skundrich who made the contact and got the yellow. Hugo Faroux making sure everyone's placed where they need to be for this upcoming free kick. It's in a very good position for Hartford. Hodge and Chapman mull it over. 5 in the main part of the Loudoun wall. And it's Hodge! Ooh, it wasn't far away, but Hugo Faroux wasn't too interested, knew where it was going.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going in or coming close, but in the end, the goalkeeper, as you say, wasn't bothered, so it must have been well wide.
Loudoun are going to make a change. Florian Velo is going to make way. And we will get to see Abdulatif Abukura come on. He's, of course, scored in each of his last 2 appearances for Loudoun. And on top of that, Robbie Dambrot is also going to be brought off in favor of Jacob Erlinson. So a double change for Ryan Martin, as you had alluded to, Gary. For some fresh legs, but also to get some other players some minutes.
Yeah, and I'm sure that won't be the last either. Take this opportunity of being 3-0 up to give a number of other players a chance to come on and show what they can do. In particular, likes of Riley Bidwa, the New Zealander, is a very exciting player. Cristiano Francois, expect to see them both at some stage.
Good first involvement there from Abukura, but Hartford deal with it. Nice delivery out wide from Skundrich. Decent ball centrally as well, but Leggett not able to control it. And Ribeiro is there for Hartford Athletic.
Wesley Leggett, what are you doing? You've been so good. He's made a mistake, I don't believe it. No, just messing with him. He's been absolutely fantastic. That's the first thing that he hasn't controlled perfectly. What a game he has had, and the combination between him and Zach Ryan. You've got to believe if you're Ryan Martin that he looks at that and thinks, wow, well that's my combination. You know, I must try and get them together as often as possible because they have just been on fire this match.
And again, where would Hartford be even without that Joe Farrell clearance off the line? Things could have been very, very different. Allowed, even with that aside, have gone on and scored a couple more after the Leggett opener. They have been in complete command on either side of halftime.
It's interesting that Brendan Burke, when he was chatting to us, said he's never been in charge of a team that's lost this many games so early in the season. Certainly with Colorado Springs, they were always in the top sort of 4 or 5 throughout the entire season.
On top of that, just to give you a number to back that up, if Hartford can't come back, it would be their 10th loss of the season. And in July, the Brendan Burke coach team, that's a big number.
It really is a big challenge for Brendan Burke here.
Awua's in behind here for Loudoun. He had one thing on his mind, tried to find Wesley Leggett. Closed down by Budati, out for a Loudoun corner.
A bit of frustration, Budati turning to the players around him and saying, you guys are not putting in a shift, you're not helping. It's doom and gloom there for Hartford at the moment. Problem for them is Loudoun just keep coming at them from every angle with all this talent they have.
It's an IBEW Local 26 corner. IBEW Local 26, empower your future. Future looks pretty bright for Loudoun right now. As we approach the hour mark. McCabe on the corner kick duties. Plays in a good ball as well. It was touched around, handball appeals. As the shot by Keegan Hughes is blocked out for another corner.
Frustration for Loudoun. When that drops like that, it's just whoever gets the ball first and then has a swing at it, and you hope it avoids all the blocks. It didn't this time, but dangerous play again from Hartford, not clearing the ball as it comes in. It's a decent height, but no one at the near post, winning it for Hartford, and in the end it's a really good block from Jordan Scarlett.
Second try is cleared away at the near post, and Loudoun will settle for a throw with 30 minutes of normal time left. Before it's taken, Hartford are going to make a change here. Beverly Makangila is going to exit here. And one of the players you had mentioned, Gary, Amadou Jang, he's going to come on to try and help change Hartford's fortunes.
I think you have to get him on. It's just a striker with a difference, much bigger, stronger. Maybe there's a better aerial threat for them from Amadou Jang. You're losing someone in midfield though, so extra work for those in midfield and defense, but an extra striker up front.
Lovely run here from Zach Ryan, fending off a multitude of challenges. Awua's ball in was very, very well placed, but Hartford have it cleared. The ball is sent up the other way. Jang, good attempt to try to hold it up, but it goes out of play. Udadi through the back of Abukura. That alleviates the pressure that Hartford were trying to put on Loudoun. It's a free kick to the hosts.
You've got to manage your emotions now. Budati getting a little bit heated. We saw him a few minutes ago shouting at his teammates, but it's controlled aggression you want. Still got to be clever. If you get one back, Hartford Athletic, you're back in the match. Obviously, if you concede another one, it really is all over. Just one back in and there's hope. You've just got to keep believing that.
Abukura from Zach Ryan. Budati got involved again. Referees allowed play to continue. A switch of play by Ryan. Really good ball. Great ball from Tingy as well. And Leggett's shot is stopped by Ribeiro.
Wow, how was Tingy's layoff there? The crossfield ball as well was absolute perfection. Leggett gets a shot on target, to be fair. Just lacked a little bit of power. But what a great move.
Not a bad run from Beckford, but one too many white shirts in the way. You know what Deshane Beckford's capable of. Haven't seen a ton from him tonight in the attacking third, where he could do a lot of damage.
Both him and Mishin Galina have been very quiet here tonight. And Budadi going through a little bit of a tough spell at the moment. Watch his first time touch and into space so beautifully for Leggett. Doesn't quite catch it, he sort of kicks it into the ground, and that could very well have been his second. Just sort of slightly fluffed it, but good run by Leggett nonetheless.
It's almost a candidate for team goal of the season right there. Leggett's able to put that over the top of Ribeiro. Abukura, it's a third time that Budati's tried to go through the back of him. Has to be more careful than that. Skundrich leads the press. And almost got all the way to Ribeiro before he gets it away. Tingy miscleared it. Learman's there to sweep it up. Learman up ahead. Lovely first time ball from Ryan to Leggett. Leggett gets past one, gets past another. Was he tripped up? Referee tells Leggett to get back up.
Wow, I'd like to see that again. Lovely nutmeg. It looked like there was contact, but understand the referee's point of view. If you can't be sure, you can't give it. It's not like VAR where you can stop and have a close look. But there's nutmegs here, brilliant. But now, is there contact? Ooh, it's so hard to see. The foot sort of half goes in here, and then I think there might just have been some contact from Tristan Hodge. Is it enough to bring Leggett down is the question. But without VAR, it's impossible for the referee to know, and if you don't know, you can't give it.
Especially from the angle the referee's at there, I think that ends up being a pretty fair decision from him in the end.
Yep. I agree with you. It has to be clear cut. Without VAR, it has to be absolutely clear cut to give a penalty. Another look at it here. Well, now that you see it again, it probably just is enough from Hodge there as he puts his foot in. Anyway, it doesn't make a big difference on this match as it happens. If it was 0-0, it'd be a different story.
Tune into ESPN2 for USL Summer of Soccer showdown between Championship Eastern Conference rivals. It's the Charleston Battery and Golden Boot leader Nick Marcanic against Birmingham Legion. Their dual goal-scoring threats at Enzo Martinez and Tyler Pasher. Friday, July 5th, it's at 7 p.m. Eastern. Again, it's on ESPN2. Feels like Birmingham can use a bit of a boost themselves at the moment after Louisville put them to the sword last time out. Of course, we all know what Ben Pierman's side are capable of, as Joe Farrell almost takes a tumble there, a little somersault. It's going to be a battle all the way to the end in the Eastern Conference, but nights like this are really big statements from Loudoun United in particular. Beat the Rowdies here by 2-0, which was really a marquee win for Ryan Martin and this group. Sometimes, games like that, teams maybe get in their own head, and oh, that was a deflection off the post from Leggett. It's going to go out for a goal kick, and it kind of makes my point. Loudoun not resting on their laurels. It doesn't matter if you beat Tampa Bay. It doesn't matter if you're 3-0 up against Hartford. They keep on coming. Keep on throwing haymakers.
He's had a wonderful game, Wesley Leggett. If ever he needed to say to the manager, I've got to be on the starting lineup. This match, I think he's been more impactful than Zach Ryan, although Zach has 2 goals. It's Leggett who made both those goals, scored one himself, and has continued to be a threat throughout the second half.
Ball's out of play. We're going to see a couple of Loudoun changes. Drew Skundrich is going to come out. New signing Isaiah Johnston will take his spot. And it's a standing ovation for the departing Wesley Leggett. A goal and 2 assists. He will be replaced by Riley Bedois. And here is the goal, Gary, before we get to those 2 assists as well.
It's just, I can see it time and time again because it's a deflected shot. You've got to quickly readjust yourself to chest the ball. You've got to chest it so that you can volley it. You've got to readjust your body. And all the time you've got to know exactly where the goal is. That's a finish for me of very, very high quality.
What a night for Leggett. I get to see more from the promising Riley Bedois. And of course, Isaiah Johnston, who comes over from Huntsville City, a feeder club for Nashville at MLS Next Pro. While we were giving Wesley Leggett his flowers, Hartford also made a change. Jay Chapman is off, and Mr. Hartford Athletic himself, Danny Barrera, is going to come on to try and help Hartford find a route back into the game. McCabe leads Loudoun forward. Abukura, couple of ball rolls. He touches it past Galina. Abukura's on the end of it. Oh, great kick save from Ribeiro.
Just shows you how good Abukura is. What a talent. No wonder he was man of the match last couple of games. Fantastic there. He was getting bumped and pushed all over the place. He still gets a shot, which Ribeiro does really well, Ribeiro, to make the save. But have a look, as the ball comes, he's being bumped and pushed, and he's falling and still gets the shot on target, but well saved by Ribeiro.
Nearly made it. 3 goals in his last 3 Loudoun appearances. And at the other end, anytime Hartford get a little bit of ground in the final third, Loudoun have the answers defensively tonight. As we tick down on 20 minutes plus stoppage to go.
And we were asking Ryan Martin about Abukura, given that he scored in back-to-back games, and he said he's one of the best at 1 against 1 in the league. And he said he tried to play overseas recently, but came back. But that's how good he is, that they think he can still make it overseas at some stage.
McCabe, it's Abukura. It took a deflection, and Ribeiro is there to make the stop. Oh, and there was a little bit of a kick out there. Tingy and Ribeiro getting involved. Tingy booked. We take another look.
McCabe head up, just knocking the ball through Abukura with that shot blocked. That's Ribeiro's very lucky. That's... Oh, they both got booked, yeah, for the kick out. Thought so. You can't get away with kicking out like that, Ribeiro.
So both players, I should say, like you said, Gary, rightly get booked. Good spot by the referee. That's another poor giveaway from Hartford for Johnston. Awua. Another goal would really put the cherry on top of a beautiful Sunday on this Wednesday night for Loudoun. They have just been phenomenal. They're coming together there. Joe Farrell penalized. Remember, Farrell does have to be careful on a yellow card for Hartford. Ribeiro and Scarlett as well for Brennan Burke's side.
And they are getting frustrated. Hartford, it's been such a tough run of results for them compared to Loudoun. Loudoun, assuming they win this match, it's 5 wins and 2 draws in their last 7. That is a fantastic run, and there'll be a few top clubs keeping an eye on this.
Abukura. Oh, it's deflected by a Hartford player. I think it was Farrell. Ribeiro makes the stop.
He's the most grateful person in that stadium, Joey Farrell, that Ribeiro was in the right spot. Otherwise, that was an own goal, which would have pretty much summed up the evening for Hartford Athletic. But just back to Loudoun, I mean, it's 5 wins, 2 draws. And some of them have been substantial. They beat Monterey Bay 3-0. Of course, they're winning 3-0 here. They beat Tampa Bay 2-0. They beat FC Tulsa 3-0. Orange County away 2-0. Wow.
Another good run from Deshane Beckford. Dazzling skill. It's almost like he's taking on the whole team at the moment. He does win a corner for Hartford, who are running out of time.
I think just to continue with that, if you're Ben Pearman at Charleston Battery or Tampa Bay, Indy 11, any of these top sides, not only did you know that Loudoun were a vastly improved side, you'll now be looking at them going, we could be facing them in the playoffs and semis or finals or whatever. That's how good this team of Ryan Martins looks at the moment.
Of course, if they can keep surging as well, Loudoun will be hoping that at some point they can maybe challenge, who knows, for a home playoff game. And that would be really, really something. A bit of back and forth in the penalty area. Again, John Matto just making sure everything stays civil. Again, the likes of Farrell and Scarlett have got to be careful here. Can Hartford get their way back in this game? Looks like a player for Hartford is down. It was cleared away by Loudoun, who don't have to stop the play. Abukura, early ball, and that's a critical touch from Beckford. Bidouin was the target in transition.
Riley Bidouin was all open in the middle there. If that ball could have got across, would have been a great counter-attack. By the way, the player went down, I think, was Joey Farrell, threw himself at the ball. I didn't see a push. I just think he was hoping that he might get a decision.
By the way, since he's come on, Abukura has been tremendous. He wins the ball up back again, wins a free kick.
Or referee let him take it quickly. He's won it. A referee stepping in to maybe give a yellow card or a warning, but you know, if you've won the right to the free kick, you've got to be allowed to take it quickly. That's what the players are complaining about.
John Matto gave the yellow card for accumulation. Oh, and a red card's been shown on, I believe, the Loudoun touchline.
It's probably in response to that free kick not being allowed to be taken, one of the assistant coaches.
I was going to say, initially it looked like it was directed at someone behind Ryan Martin. That is the case. It is an assistant coach that gets a red. I think that all Loudoun were arguing, and we don't know, we didn't hear it, but it seemed like that all Loudoun were arguing about was the fact that they should have been allowed to play on with advantage.
Yeah, but it's also how you argue, and maybe, you know,
yep,
the wrong words were used, if I can put it politely. And again, if it was 0-0, I'd also understand it, but at 3-0, you don't need to fight those fights that hard. Referee's got a tough job to do as it is. He called it, maybe he should have let it go, but in the end, they've given the free kick. I was going to say, I thought he was in. He hasn't been behind his back for, I don't think, more than once. Once in the first half, he sort of got down the left-hand side, Michi. Other than that, he just really hasn't got behind this very good and solid Loudoun defense. If you go back to the Pittsburgh game, he got round the back there 3 times, scored twice. He looked almost unplayable against Pittsburgh, but here tonight, nothing much coming from Michi and Galina.
Looks like we're going to have a hydro break here. Hartford, we're getting 2 changes ready, we were told.
Let's get ready to Game Night on DC News Now with Derek Forrest, Brandy Flores, Alex Flum, and Jake Rom. Game Night, the only 7-day-a-week sports show tonight at 11 on DC News Now.
We'll see if those 2 Hartford changes are made out of the hydro break. Loudoun have 1 change left as well. We'll see if they make it at some point. It does look like that Cristiano Francois was getting ready. See if he enters the field of play. He is on 199 league appearances in the USL Championship, the former Miami FC star. If he gets on, it'll be number 200 in his career. What a milestone to hit. We'll see if that happens. So far, so good tonight. It has just been tremendous from Loudoun. They continue to show that they are a bona fide contender in the Eastern Conference, the USL Championship. Hartford still feel like they have to turn the corner to get there. This was a night to potentially do that. It has not happened for them, and they're going to make their last 2 changes here. Tristan Hodge, we're told, and Joe Farrell are both going to come out. Joey Apanonu is going to come on, as is Emmanuel Samaria.
Well, it makes sense from Brendan Berg just to try something different, to get some fresh legs on, just to see if you can impact the game. Time's running out. It's still a mountain to climb, but as we've been saying for a while, you get 1 goal back. There's a little bit of hope, a little bit of light shining at the end of the tunnel. And you need to get that breakthrough, and the clock is running. If they're going to get a goal, they've got to get it soon.
We have been told that Cristiano Francois is getting set to come on for Zach Ryan. That'll take place in a moment. So Cristiano Francois is going to reach that 200 appearance milestone momentarily. Quick throw in for Hartford on the far side. 11 minutes of the 90 left. Beckford. It's crossed into the middle. That's a header. That's wonderfully saved by Faroux. He continues to have a tremendous season. That's his 50th save. And what a save it is.
That's his first time he's really been tested in this match, Faroux. And what are we, the 80th minute of the match. Good header nonetheless as Zach Ryan comes off, but it's a little late for Hartford to be getting their first real test to the keeper in the 80th minute.
Zach Ryan leaves after scoring 2 beautiful goals.
Leggett sets him up there, but he was already waiting. He'd measured, he knew what was happening. It was literally, Leggett was only about a yard or 2 away when he sets him up, and this second one as well. Just a natural finisher, Zach Ryan, but those 2 have combined brilliantly tonight.
A standing O for Zach Ryan and a 200th league appearance for Cristiano Francois. Congratulations to him on a wonderful milestone and achievement. Select, the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select product specials and more. Select is the player's choice.
Well, as Hartford are staring down the end of this 3-0 barrel, and looking at the games coming up, they've got Charleston at home next. That's not going to be easy. Pittsburgh away, and they're looking to climb their way up the table, so at Highmark, that'll be a tough one. Then Phoenix Rising at home.
Hartford on the attack again. They're growing in a bit of confidence as the match is moving along, but no end product. Francois has it for Loudoun. He tried to play the ball further up ahead for Johnston, but it's out of play.
I think the second part of Loudoun being a top side is the ability to keep clean sheets, and just looking at the way they're playing now, I mean, against Tampa Bay, 2-0 up, they held on there, and, well, they were 1-0, they held on, and they got the second right towards the end, but the clean sheet was so important, and it looks like they're well on the way to getting another clean sheet against Hartford, who are nonetheless decent opposition. So you have to say, well, if you're scoring plenty of goals at one end and you're not conceding at the other, I don't think there's any better recipe for being a top side.
If they get it, it'll be Loudoun's 6th clean sheet of the season. And of course, they would extend their longest ever unbeaten run as a club to 7 games if they can hold on for the result.
And just looking at what they've got coming up, Loudoun, India away, and India riding very high at the moment, Charleston home, and they've also got Pittsburgh away. So it doesn't get easy in this league, which is why when you play each other, when you play teams around you, battling near the edge of the playoffs like this game here, the 3 points are so vital. And Loudoun look like they will be, at the end of this match, 9 points clear of Hartford. And that's a long way back in already the second half of the season.
I was going to say, not too early to mention that. It really could matter as we get towards September and October. Here's Barrera for Hartford Athletic. Van Zeal thought about putting it into the penalty area, recycles it instead. Van Zeal in the middle. Can Loudoun have the answer? They follow up with McCabe. Siadou fighting to keep it alive. Loudoun comes out with it. Francois, good hold-up play, and he surges ahead for Loudoun United. Bidois played in behind for Loudoun, and it's a great block by the substitute, Apanonu. Out for a corner it goes.
Another great counter-attack by Loudoun. We mentioned Riley Bidwell, what a good player he is. And Francois on his 200th appearance in the regular season, just creating that fantastic opportunity. But again, credit Loudoun, 3-0 up and not resting on that. And Riley Bidwell is so close there to getting the 4th of the night. And they're proving that they are a top side. Expected goals so far for the home side, 2.21. That is brilliant. They've been over 2 every single game, the last 3 or 4 games. For Hartford, just 0.41. Not good enough.
Corner for Loudoun. It's a local 26 IBEW corner. Power your future. Corner's bent in. Oh, that was a chance for Hughes. Followed up on. Loudoun asking the question if it was touched by a Hartford player. It appears it was not.
Been a few of these balls coming in against Hartford that they haven't dealt with. That was headed by a Loudoun player. You've got to be the ones, if you're defending, you've got to be the ones heading it out. You've got to be clearing it. There's been a few bouncing around their box, and that'll just add to the fact this has not been a good night at the office for Hartford Athletic.
Barrera spreading it out to this near side. Kept in play by Boudadi. Tries to find an opening inside the penalty area. Good reverse ball to Shane Beckford. Quick feet. Tries to cross it. It's blocked. Awua comes in. A challenge as well. Hartford really didn't appeal for a penalty there. And play continues with Loudoun moving forward. Brendan Burke certainly appealed for a penalty on the near side. No players, though, really stopped for the referee's opinion on that. Barrera back in, and Faroux is there.
Again, it's another one of those penalties where it's hard to see exactly what happens unless it's clear. You can't give it. Let's have a look. There's a little bit of tugging going on there. And as he comes in, I don't think there's enough, to be honest. I think the sort of bar is much higher without VAR. You can't go on assumptions. You can't go on very faint touches. You've got to say, was there a clear trip? And it was hard to see if there was one. Not that it would really make that much difference at this stage of the game, but I'm sure Hartford would love to get a goal, get something out of this match.
The other part of that too, though, which is a bit surprising, is that none of the Hartford players were really looking for the penalty. All the thoughts on it really were coming from Brendan Burke, who had probably the worst view out of everybody on it, at least compared to his players on the pitch. It does feel like a lot of times the players, their natural reaction can tell you all you need to know, and Hartford on the field didn't look like they appealed for it.
They look like a side who's losing or has lost confidence. They're They've been niggling at each other, which is not always a bad sign. It's sometimes good to niggle at each other. You keep your standards high, but it just doesn't feel like it's a team that's gelling in any way that makes footballers happy. They don't like to be playing in teams that are struggling.
It's good build-up play here, and Galina lays it off outside of the boot pass to Budadi, who bends it into the penalty area, and it was headed by Jang out of play.
Yeah, Jang really stretching, but Yannis Lehmann just leaning into the back of him to make it difficult.
USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and on ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Final few minutes plus stoppage time. It's been a wonderful Loudoun performance. Abukura will chase this down.
He was unmarked in the middle of the box there, Abukura. They're getting a little bit sloppy now, Hartford.
Abukura cuts it inside. Johnston! Good strike, but it was down the middle, and Ribeiro is able to make a simple stop in the end.
Yeah, again, just looking ahead for Hartford to the next match, Charleston at home. The reigning Eastern champions, losing on penalties to Phoenix Rising, who, by the way, they play after they play Pittsburgh away. They've got Phoenix at home, so none of these matches get any easier for Brendan Burks. They're going to have to find a way to pick themselves up. They've got to get themselves on a winning streak and work up that table.
See you do into the middle. Again, Loudoun have the answer. Francois helps move it along. Bitois. Tingy sends it forward. Into the 90th minute with Hartford continuing to push for what at this point would be a consolation. Another block on an entry pass into the middle. Van Kazeel resets. Budadi from Barrera. Nice ball to Ingalina, who has time and space. Ingalina closed down by Erlinson, who may very well have been fouled on the follow-through, and it's a Loudoun free kick.
Ingalina's first touch has to be better. You got to touch it and get it crossed into the box nice and quickly. His first touch, the ball spins free, then he's got to try and control it, and by then, of course, Erlinson and company are all over him. Not been Misha Ingalina's best match because he's capable of so much more, but to be fair to him, maybe he hasn't got the service in behind the defense that he would have wanted.
Good sportsmanship between those two after the challenge, as well as there's going to be a minimum of 6 minutes of stoppage time added. Brought to you by Novak. Novak's energy-saving tips are a real game changer. Wesley Leggett and Zach Ryan have been Loudoun's game changers tonight as Awua is down in a heap.
A bit of a challenge as they went for the high ball there. Abukura complaining. Has been a physical game here and there. Budadi in particular has been dishing it around.
He was already on a yellow card, by the way. That's another time where Budadi's been playing with fire.
Yeah, he gave away the penalty in the match against Tampa Bay. He needs to be careful. The late tackle on Rivera. 87th minute, he gave away the penalty to lose 1-0. He has been a little bit fiery here tonight. It's good to be pumped up and get stuck in, but you've always got to do it with that measured element.
It's just one of 3 games tonight in the USL Championship. Sac Republic and Vegas to come. New Mexico and Orange County have kicked off at the Lab in Albuquerque. No score in the 22nd minute. What a job Eric Quill has done. New Mexico United. And to Shane Beckford, who had a chance to maybe make something of that was in an offside position, and Loudoun will get to clear their lines.
Again, good defending from Loudoun. You hold your line, defenders, attackers rather, get caught offside. They have really limited the opportunities, as we mentioned, by the XG, less than 0.5 for Hartford Athletic, while the home side are 2.28. Total dominance, I don't think there's any doubt. There'd be no complaints other than one or two little moments maybe where there could have been a penalty or whatever, but overall Loudoun have, in my opinion anyway, well deserved this match. The XG, the expected goals suggest as much. 2.36 now to 0.47, which means there's a lot of work for this Hartford side to do if they're going to make the playoffs this season.
Learman doesn't take too many chances, out for a throw. 3.5 minutes left to go at a minimum here in Leesburg. Wesley Leggett and Zach Ryan have done all the damage. Budati with a floor scraper. It's cleared away, I should say, and out for a throw. Obua had to follow up on his clearance, gives it away. Ingalina, again battling with Erlinson, and it's out for a Hartford corner. Erlinson thought it was last off of Ingalina. Referee thinks otherwise.
It was a good tackle from Erlinson, because he was away, wasn't he, Misha Ingalina?
Danny Barrera knows a thing or two about assisting in a Hartford shirt. Can he find somebody here? He finds Hugo Farou.
He hasn't had a lot to do, Hugo Farou. He's had one really good save, but he's come and collected crosses. He's been absolutely rock solid at the back, and that's what you want from your goalkeeper.
He certainly kept his concentration tonight. Didn't have a ton to do, and then made that big save earlier in this second half. Hugo Farou.
I mean, everybody in this Loudoun team, you've got to say, has done a good job. In particular, of course, Leggett and Ryan, with all the goals and assists between them virtually, but the others have all played a part. And again, I've said it, I'll say it again, there's a lot of big teams looking at them going, this team is trouble.
Abukura! Oh, he smashes it off the frame!
Wow, what a strike. Abukura again, as he's done the last couple of matches. Fantastic striker of a ball.
Another close call for the substitute. Budati. How wide it goes for Samadia.
Abukura scored last match against Tampa. He also hit the crossbar, or he had a shot that was kicked up onto the crossbar, and he had a fantastic strike against Miami that went in. Oh, header but wide.
Another chance from Galina. It goes wide. Here was the earlier attempt from Abukura. How unlucky is he?
He's got space on the edge of the box. He's got space to turn and hit it, and you give good players time and space in that position there. It might have taken a slight deflection. Otherwise, it could have been in the top corner, but he hit one against Miami FC from outside the box that flew in as well. So he's on a hot streak at the moment.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, plus your live matches from USL, MLS, Premier League, and more on the Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Sure, Mike and Devin will have plenty to talk about from this one and their show on Tuesday. Loudoun just continue to prove the doubters wrong and surge in the right direction. They continue their historic unbeaten run in the USL Championship, 7 games without defeat under Ryan Martin as they take care of Hartford by 3-0 tonight in Leesburg. Wesley Leggett and Zach Ryan were the stars. Loudoun continue to push up the table in the East, and Hartford Athletic have to go back to the drawing board after a 5th win in the last 7 for red-hot Loudoun United.
Yeah, we just saw Ryan Martin walk off there with a big smile on his face. It's been years and years of struggling to have a winning team, and now he's got one, and he really has got a good winning team. That man in goals, Hugo Faroux, has been top class, and Ryan Martin will be happy that Wesley Leggett, he's only changed from the last match when they beat Tampa, made such an impact. Zach Ryan, his captain, was good. It all suggests they could have a fantastic run into the playoffs this season. Loudoun United.
Top class performance from Loudoun tonight. 2 goals from Zach Ryan, a goal and 2 assists from Wesley Leggett. Add it all up, it's a 3-0 win over Hartford. And after the break, we'll wrap it all up.
Texas Rangers, don't move another inch.
I warned you what would happen if you went rogue, and you ignored me.
There's a lunatic out there killing people.
On the ground, now!
I can't be a good father, a good friend, a good partner until I get this guy off the streets. The only thing I can be good at right now is being a Ranger.
Walker, Wednesday at 8 on DCW 50. Weather for all the DMV, your weather experts. You're watching DC News Now.
I guess it's fitting on 7:03 night here in Loudoun that Loudoun would win by 3-0 over Hartford Athletics. Zach Ryan celebrating with the Loudoun faithful after a job well done tonight alongside his partner in crime, Wesley Leggett. Shot St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here to wrap things up. 7 unbeaten for Loudoun in the league. It's the best run they've ever had in a USL Championship career. Let's go back through the highlights of this one, and we begin with a wonderful finish from Wesley Leggett.
Yeah, Zach Ryan whips it in, it gets a deflection, but Leggett controls it with his chest beautifully, side foots it into the corner. High quality, high skill level finish. Got to be up there with goals of the week just for the complexity of the goal. And what a good start that was for the home side.
Wesley Leggett would be far from done in his contributions. He would get an assist on the goal from Zach Ryan.
He just sets it up here. Zach Ryan already expecting it, already measured, knew what he wanted to do. Leggett just sets him up beautifully, controls the ball, and he bends it into the far corner. Zach Ryan, the captain, giving them a 2-0 halftime lead.
And on the other side of the halftime break, it's the same duo, Leggett to Ryan for 3.
The pace of Leggett on the right-hand side. Zach Ryan just pulls off his defender, makes a bit of an angle, times his run, finishes it off, and that was basically it. Minutes into the second half, the game was effectively over, but they did a good job, Loudoun, keeping that clean sheet for the rest of the match.
As you could look at the full-time match stats, you'll see that Loudoun could have had a few more. 11 shots on target to Hartford's 3. 19 total shots, and Abdulif Abdukura could have had a second half hat-trick himself if it weren't for the frame.
Yeah, he smashed one against the top corner. So close to a goal there. Decent save from Faroux from the only chance that Hartford had, but Hartford with barely half an expected goal, just not doing enough on the road. Loudoun just absolutely fantastic. An expected goal of more than 2 for the 4th match in a row.
Really, really impressive from Ryan Martin's group. Once again, of course, we told you New Mexico and Orange County are going on right now, but coming up on CBS Sports Network, it's Sac Republic taking on Las Vegas Lights, who have been tremendous under Dennis Sanchez so far this season. You won't want to miss it. Kickoff is coming up at 10:30 p.m. Eastern from the Californian capital. Really good game out west in the USL Championship. Really good night here in Leesburg, Virginia for Loudoun United. It's a team record, 7 unbeaten with 5 wins out of 7 after a 3-0 convincing victory over Eastern Conference rivals Hartford Athletic. For Gary Bailey and our entire crew, Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Leesburg. Loudoun just keep on proving the doubters wrong in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.